Alright, so after the release of bfdi 21, it's really starting to hit me that bfdi as a whole might enter its prime or its peak. Because we now have Teapot 19, which in my eyes is top 5 bfdi episodes of all time. I mean, what more could you really want from an episode? And then, following that, we have bfdia 21, which was a more laid-back episode, which was obviously expected considering the absolute bombshell that preceded it. But even with that, I don't think the quality was sacrificed to make that happen. Like, you're still getting a high quality episode with very well animation as always, very good writing, and just doing what bfdia does best with its also humorous approach, which is a big contrast to how Teapot does things. So after everything we've been shown so far and what we've gotten, I think it's pretty clear to tell that the future for this series is going to be very, very bright. Which is what leads me to the entire point of this video. Okay, so if you don't really know what I mean by the prime of bfdi, the example I'm using is BFB pre-split, or more specifically the run between BFB 10 to BFB 15. My reasoning behind this is because the consistency of the season was the highest I think of any other bfdi season. Also, this is when the writing started becoming like amazing, and they didn't really match that for a long time after the season. And this is when J&J's like views started going up. This is when their animation started getting better. This was just an amazing time. So after all those years, you think they would have topped it by now. And I mean, I guess you could say they did top it. It depends on what your personal preferences are, because you could say the run between Teapot 1 to Teapot like 5 or somewhere around that point could be considered prime, but I do not think it could stand with pre-split's reign. But I think the reason the Teapot days don't like stand up with pre-split level days is just because pre-split was the thing that diverted them from like bfdia times, or I guess you could count IDFB, because they completely switched up everything. Art style, the way they wrote the episodes, it was a complete 180 on what they'd ever done before, and that's why it's so amazing to me. And that was the case for a very long time, until the main protagonist, or one, got introduced to Teapot. And ever since then, we've had a lot of highs and also a lot of lows, so I haven't been able to call it a prime just because of all the inconsistencies. But they were a massive step in the right direction, which brought us to where we are today, where the show has become so well written in its plots that I think it is actually able to enter its own prime now. So yeah, Teapot's becoming its own new thing in the whole BFDI universe, very great season. But it's not just Teapot that is airing, it's also BFDIA, just like how I was talking about before. So we have 2 amazing seasons running at the exact same time, and both at their endgame, near finale territory. And we look at the other 3 sorta seasons like BFDI, pre-split, post-split, the best episodes from them usually come from those final episodes. So in conclusion, the answer is if they can keep up the same momentum they've been showing us all this time, I 100% believe BFDI will enter its new prime, the days of BFDIA and Teapot.
Sure, she's kinda insane, probably a red flag, but crazy chicks are hot, smash. She could slap me and call me worthless and I'd still be like, yes ma'am, pollinate me queen. Although she is a bit flat, I don't know if there's a whole lot I can do with that. Ooh, spongy.